everybody. So right now I'm going to demonstrate for you the conditioning treatment on the doll's head. I've started the doll's head by doing the hot cross bun sectioning. So sectioning the hair from the front of the head down to the nape, and then from the highest point of the head down to the ears. So as I spin the doll round, you can see it goes from the top of the head to the ear, clean sectioning through the back, and then the same on the other side. So really nice, neat, clean sections. I've shampooed my doll's head as well. So giving it 2 good shampoos using the shampoo techniques, and combed it through and sectioned it all off. So I'm going to start my sectioning in the back sections first. And I've got my conditioning treatment in my bowling brush just here. So as I'm taking my first section, I'm going to be working horizontally in sections down the head. You don't want to take your sections too large because you want to be able to distribute the product really evenly through the hair. So because I comb the hair out nice and smooth anyway, I've got myself a nice clean section to start with, and looking at that, it's around about 1 inch thick. So I'm just going to pick up some of the conditioning treatment on my tint brush, and I'm working it through the mid-lengths to ends, making sure I've got a nice even amount of product from the mid-length all the way to the tip. So the hair is completely covered in the product. I'm then going to flick that hair over so it's sitting not in the client's face area but just hanging down onto that front section. And then I've got my next nice clean sharp section there, and I'm just going to keep working the conditioning treatment through the mid-lengths and ends, like I say, with really good even distribution through the hair of the product that you're applying, and then moving it up and over. So the reason why I'm applying this to wet shampooed hair is the shampoo has gone onto the hair and it's opened up the cuticle. So the conditioning treatment is a stronger treatment than your surface conditioner, and this can penetrate into the cortex and help restore all the keratin, the proteins, and really give the hair lots and lots of nourishment. So this is beneficially for hair that is quite damaged, so long hair that's been chemically processed, lots of bleach work or perm work, etc. that's been done to the hair. So using this conditioning treatment's really going to stop all those split ends from happening. It's going to help prevent them from happening, and it's going to restore a lot of the pH balance back into the hair, more so than what a surface conditioner can do for your client. So I'm nearly through this first section. Again, all the way through, I've just been applying it a good sort of 2 to 3 inches away from that root area and down the hair, and I can feel as I push the product through that it's got that really good even distribution. So last section here. There we go. So I'm just going to bring all this section down, and I'm just going to let that hang into one. I'm just going to turn the doll's head for your benefit. And then I'm going to start exactly the same again, going across this section here. So when I take my section, I'm using the tail comb of the application brush, the tint brush, And as you can see, I'm sliding it through the hair. So this is really gently against the scalp. Then when I'm picking the hair up, I'm holding the hair that's on top of the brush and then pulling any hair away with the brush from underneath, which this gives me a really nice, clear, straight line. So the benefit of you practicing your real neat sectioning now is for when you start to come in and you're applying your colour and you're doing your weaves in the hair, you really need to have that nice, neat, straight line. When you're applying tints to the hair, you need to make sure that you've got the really good, even distribution of product. So by getting it right now with your conditioning treatment is going to make it a lot more easier and beneficial for your knowledge when you move on to the more chemically processing treatments. The other reason to really practice your sectioning and get it nice and neat is when you're cutting, the cleaner and clearer your sections are, the easier your cut will be to do and to follow. So by following the Lee Stafford cuts, you'll notice there's lots of sectioning. There can be also lots of sectioning for your blow dries as well. But by learning this early on will again benefit you in the long run. So as you can see, sort of through each section, I'm taking the same amount of hair generally as I'm working down each section, and then with the amount of product that I've got on the brush, it's not dripping off the brush. It's just enough to be working through and then applying a little bit more to get through to the ends. So the other thing that I'm doing once I finish that is I'm working it in with my fingers. So this is really helping it sort of emulsify into the hair because you're rubbing the movement. So that helps a lot. So when it gets to the front sections, I'll start on this front section here and move the trolley round. I'm going to be working from the top of the head forward, still working horizontally, but I'm going to be going at a very slight angle. So I'm going to be taking my sections down towards the face as I work. So I'm just picking up the first sort of triangle that sits on top. Again, pulling away the hair that's underneath, giving me a nice neat line. And then I'm just working that product through the hair and then flicking it back away. So by doing it this way, starting from the top and working still horizontally but at a slight angle, is also going to help you with the comfort of your client. This is going to stop any product dripping into the client's face and sort of, you know, irritating their skin at all. So the sections at the front, because of the deepness of the neck at the back, are always slightly less, so you don't have to take quite so many sections, so you tend to get through the front section slightly quicker. You can always tend to find as well when the hair's long, some of the sections around the front of the face might be slightly shorter due to any layering or shaping that's there. So when it comes to your assessment on your conditioning treatment, you tend to get around 20 minutes to half an hour for the application. Then once your conditioning treatment and oil treatment is on, you need to be bagging up the client's hair, which I will talk you through in a moment. and then using the allocated hood dryers that we have to be popping them under a dryer for 15 minutes. So it's all about the application time. So don't worry about the whole treatment, because that is obviously going to take longer for 15 minutes. But this is what you want to be practicing. Now you've got your kits, you could be doing this at home. So when you came in on induction day, we sent you all away with some products. And those products were a shampoo, a surface conditioner, a conditioning treatment and an oil treatment. So now you've had the conditioning treatment delivered to you and you've had the oil treatment delivered to you. You could be working on your doll's heads at home, taking photo evidence or videoing yourselves exactly like I'm doing now. And you could be using this as part of your assessments and evidence to help you get your qualification. You can also use this to practice your timings and to get your applications really, really sort of down to a T and neat. So last two sections here. And then the last one. So I'm just really working that product into the hair now. So now I've done all 4 sections, I'm just going to now bring the head back. I'm just essentially sort of combing it through down with my fingers. So I'm going to bring all the hair together, and I'm just going to use a plastic clip to pin the hair up and hold it out of the way. As the hair is now pinned up and it's nice and sturdy and it's going to hold itself, we're just going to use one of these plastic caps. So the reason why we use a plastic pin rather than a metal is because when you are going to be putting your client under the hood dryer, the heat is obviously going to be working this product into the hair. What you don't want it to do is warm up the metal pin and burn your client. So once this bag is on, we're just going to twist it, and then I'm just going to secure that there so it doesn't blow off when it goes under the hood dryer with another plastic clip. So just so you can see that a bit better, I just secured it at the bottom with a plastic clip, and then your PPE on your client, you would have a towel around the neck and a plastic cape also to protect them and their clothing. So now you would pop your client or doll's head underneath your hood dryer. You would activate that for 15 minutes at a moderate heat so that it's not too hot for them, but the heat is going to really help that penetrate through to the cortex and open up those cuticles even more. A bit like when you put heat on the skin where it opens up the pores. This will really help this. Once it's finished, you just want to lift the hood dryer off and away from the client. Take the bottom pin out and take the bag off of the hair, but leave it pinned up, because you need to now let the hair cool for a few minutes. And the other thing is, where the product has sort of been heated and activated, it might become a little bit more looser in consistency. So you don't want, if you let it down, you don't want too much mess around the client. So then you've essentially started off with your 2 shampoos. This is your conditioning treatment, and then you will just take them to the basin, and completely rinse all the product out, making sure that you've got rid of it all, because if you haven't, you're going to have a hard time blow drying it and getting it dry. So really give it a lovely long rinse at the basin and make sure all the product's out. And this is your conditioning treatment. Thank you for watching.